This is the journey story from Yokohama in Japan, all the way across the Pacific to San Francisco. It was April 15th. The sun was sinking into the horizon, casting an amber glow over the bustling metropolis of Tokyo. As I sat at the edge of my bed in the opulent Park Hyatt Tokyo, the very same hotel made famous by Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson in Lost in Translation.
I don't want to leave.
So don't. Stay here with me. We'll start a jazz band.
And from the 47th floor, the city stretched out like a vast living organism, pulsating with life and neon.
For relaxing times, make it Centauri time.
The scent of my early dinner, a delicately prepared Wagyu steak from the hotel's New York grill, still lingered on my palate, and a mix of fresh tuna and smoky undertones of a Japanese malt whiskey. I scribbled in my leather-bound journal, my constant companion on this worldward homage, to Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days. My series, 80 Days, was nearing its completion, and Tokyo, or more accurately, the port of Yokohama, was the final stop before crossing the vast Pacific. Tomorrow, just like fog, I would embark on the weeks-long marine journey to San Francisco. But for tonight, I allowed myself the luxury of reflection, the room's subtle scent of tatami and sandalwood providing a comforting backdrop.
Just to bring you up to date with the breaking news that we've had this morning, that in the last hour, a very powerful earthquake has struck central Japan, prompting a major tsunami warning.
April 16th. Morning came with a gentle earthquake, only in Japan. Just a 3 on the Richter scale, a not so uncommon occurrence in Japan, but a thrilling novelty for me. It was a tangible reminder of the island's restless heart, a pulse I had come to appreciate during my stay. And after a breakfast of traditional Japanese fare and a steaming cup of green tea, I packed my belongings, including trusty camera and journal. A taxi spirited me away through the intricate web of Tokyo's streets to the historic port of Yokohama, where the MS Diamond Princess awaited. The ship, a venerable vessel operated by the Japan Cruise Line, was to be my home for the next 2 weeks. Its white hull and sleek design bespoke an elegance and an assurance of comfort for the journey ahead. The air was tangy with the scent of salt and diesel, a stark contrast to the city's electronic musk. On board, I was greeted with a bow and shown to my stateroom, which boasted a porthole view of the undulating seascape. The room was compact yet inviting. There was polished wood and brass fittings, a nod to the nautical heritage so deeply rooted in the heart of this ship. April 17th, we set sail with the afternoon tide, and Yokohama's skyline receded into the distance. I stood on the deck, the briny ocean breeze tousling my hair. The MS Diamond Princess hummed beneath my feet, its engines a steady heartbeat as we cut through the blue expanse. I spent hours on the deck filming the changing mood of the sea, capturing its cerulean shades and the occasional spray of brine that licked the rails. In Jules Verne's book, Around the World in 80 Days, the travellers travelled to Yokohama by Shanghai, and Fogg, Ayuda and Fix board the boat, the Tankadera, to try and catch the steamer at Shanghai for the journey from Yokohama, even though Passepartout was lost at that stage.
What is Mr. Fogg's cabin?
Oh, Mr. Oh, but Mr. Fogg not on board.
Now we are on a direct course for Yokohama. Carnatic is bound first for Shanghai. We may arrive in Yokohama the day after her. There's still in plenty of time to catch the General Grant for San Francisco.
Fogg reaches the steamship, the Carnatic, in Shanghai and is able to take the vessel to Yokohama, where Ayuda, Fix and Fogg get on board the steamer and resumed her journey to Yokohama. Fogg finds out on reaching Yokohama that Passepartout had also reached the city, so the team are all together again.
There's the Carnatic. I imagine that steamship just behind her is the General Grant. Now the only thing missing is Passepartout.
In Yokohama, Fogg finds Passepartout and rescues him from the Japanese circus. Drama abounds.
Passepartout! Master!
Fogg, Passepartout, Ayuda and Fix board the General Grant to San Francisco. On the 23rd of November, Fogg has completed exactly half of his journey. From the book, the General Grant makes its scheduled stop in 13 Yokohama, where Fogg intended to board. Fogg is reunited with Passepartout in Yokohama, and they board the Grant, all together now for the transatlantic crossing to San Francisco. It takes them 20 days across the world's largest body of water, the Great Pacific, to get there. So as I prepare to travel across the very same body of water, it's going to be a lengthy stint on board. Meals aboard are an adventure. The chefs on the Diamond Princess take great pride in their craft, blending Western and Eastern culinary traditions. There's the Japanese kaiseki, American steakhouse offerings, and an indulgent array of international cuisine. The gentle clink of cutlery and the murmur of conversation from fellow travellers provide the soundtrack to the meal. days at sea begin to blend together, each one marked by the rising and setting of the sun. I find a routine in documenting the life on board, even interviewing the crew, who shared tales of the vast Pacific and the passengers, each with their own story of travel and discovery, something you would never do on a plane. I would often retreat to the ship's library, a sanctuary of leather-bound volumes and the smell of aged paper. Here I researched and scripted, weaving the narrative for the final leg of my 80-day series. The MS Diamond Princess was not just a mode of transportation. It had become kind of a character in its own right. A vessel carrying not just people, but stories across the ocean. April 20th. Land was a whisper on the horizon, the first sign of America. My time on the MS Diamond Princess was drawing to a close, but the adventure was far from over. As the coastline of California came into sharp relief, I felt a twinge of excitement. San Francisco awaited, and with it, the final overland journey across America. I closed my journal, the pages filled with the vivid details of my voyage from Tokyo. The sights, the smells, the tastes, the sounds were all etched in ink, but more importantly, they were carved into my memory. I had traversed the Pacific, a journey that once took months, in mere days. Jules Verne's Phileas Fogg would no doubt have been astonished by the speed of our modern travel. Yet I like to think he would have appreciated the undiminished spirit of adventure that still propels us, or propels one, to circumnavigate the globe. After many days on the Diamond Princess, on April 30th, the silhouette of the Golden Gate Bridge appeared on the horizon, a welcoming sight, marking the end of our oceanic crossing. The ship was navigated skillfully into the San Francisco Bay, and as we docked, I felt a sense of accomplishment wash over me. The Pacific leg of 80 days was now completed. As the MS Diamond Princess docked in the port of San Francisco, I gathered my belongings, my camera, heavy with footage, and my heart heavy with the bittersweet feeling of a journey nearing its end. I stepped off the gangway, the salty tang of the bay mingling through the sourdough-scented air that is so quintessentially San Franciscan. The clang of cable cars and the distant barking of sea lions at Pier 39 welcomed me ashore. My feet on solid ground, but my sea legs reminded me of the ocean's sway. The next chapter awaits as I take the famous California Zephyr, but for now I would take a moment to savour this arrival in the amazing San Francisco. My 80 Days film series is not just a tribute to Jules Verne's classic novel, but it's a testament to the enduring allure of exploration and the joy found in the journey itself. And as I look back at the Princess, I knew that each roll of the waves and each mile of the railroad track was another story waiting to be told. So thank you, Tokyo. Thank you, MS Diamond Princess, for the tale of the sea. Now on to the city of San Francisco. And after that, the rail journey on the California Zephyr through the amazing American Rockies and across the vast tapestry of the plains to New York. And then the final leg back to London, where this grand adventure first began.
In 80 days, adventurer and award-winning filmmaker Paul G. Roberts retraces the global footsteps of Phileas Fogg, hero of Jules Verne's most famous work,